Well, hello, everybody. We are 2 seconds from literally the end of 2021. Welcome to my last live stream of the year. And waiting for people to come in. Oh, wow. Hi. 7 people already. Hi. Don't mind my stuffy nose. I got a sinus infection. So, fun fact, I'm allergic to marijuana. And if I get anywhere near it, or someone smokes it near me or anything like that, I immediately get a sinus infection, and I've had it for 2 days now, so I've been fighting it. But hi, everybody! Edie actually reminded me that I promised you all a alpaca slash llama in a hat dancing through the winter wonderland. So today, that is what we are going to do. So I'm going to utilize the photo she sent me because it was absolutely adorable. It was so cute. I get that a lot, Serenity. A lot of folks really feel bad for me, but me personally, I hate the smell of weed. So I'm like, at least I don't love it. Because, imagine. And I get a lot of friends that are like, you should try an edible at least. Do you know what anaphylactic shock is? Because I don't want to be friends with it. No. Hi, everyone. Let's see who I got so far. I've got Vivi. I got Slipknot, Maggot for Life. That is a very mouthful of a name, but awesome. I got Serenity, Nayada, Angelic Diablo, Esteban. I'm allergic to cigarette smoke too. Hi, Moon. If I'm near cigarette smoke, that also kind of like fucks with me. I'm broken. The things I'm allergic to are weird. I'm allergic to Robitussin. I'm allergic to acetaminophen, and I'm allergic to marijuana, and I'm allergic to bleach fumes. Like, what the fuck? The smell is so annoying, more annoying to hide too. Also, edibles are way too strong for me. See, I feel like edibles would be just right for me if they could make one that doesn't contain any marijuana, which I know defeats the purpose, but be that as it may. But, so guys, maybe I'll just do an inspiration off of this one, because the hat's hella adorable, but I'm just going to do an inspo from it. But, so everyone who is ready for 2022, are we? I think I'm ready. Yeah, Esteban, I think I am allergic to the CBD as well. Because my landlord, before she moved, she has a dog she has to give pure CBD oil to. And we were sitting in the kitchen, and she's like, here, take a whiff. And I took a whiff. Hi, Christian! And let me tell you something. It was immediate. Because if you've ever been like seasonal allergies, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. When the pollen, when the tree semen hits you at 10 miles an hour, and you just feel your nose immediately start to tingle, and your throat get itchy, and your head gets achy, and you're like, boom, you know that you're getting that allergic reaction. That's what it was for me. I'm allergic to cinnamon. Oh, that one to me, that one sucks way more than weed. Because cinnamon is in like a shit ton of desserts and drinks and savory foods too. I'm allergic to latex and the adhesive. I have a lot of friends who are allergic to that. My boyfriend keeps saying, what the fuck is your list of things you're allergic to? Hi, Mad Mitch. 22 might suck, but let's hope it doesn't. Listen, number 2 is my favorite number. So 2022 is set to be my favorite year. Knock on wood. I think it's going to be a great one because I think we're all finally through some of the most gruesome things we could have seen. And we're out the other side, guys. We're out the other side. So now it's just us having to manage through 3 more years of Biden. And I think we can make it. I think we can make it. Make a little Alpaca. I don't know. I think I'm going to give it big old doe eyes. Big old happy eyes. 2 is my lucky number, so next year should be exactly Serenity. How long have you been doing art? So every artist will tell you, pretty much since the moment you open your eyes. The moment you figure out that a pen can create images on paper, you're an artist. The best way to describe it. That's the only way I can say it, because my dad there's pictures of me as a little girl. I'm gonna have to find them. My mom and dad got me this chalkboard, and I was drawing. I'll show you what my drawings of horses were. And that is how baby Starson drew horses. Wow, what the hell, camera? That was how I drew horses for years. And there's a picture of me at like, wow, what is going on with this camera today? Stop being a bitch. Is it too much light? But yeah, that's what I did all the time. Probably won't really be able to, yeah, drawing. That was my drawings of a horse when I was a kid. When I drew horses all the time and nothing else for a very long time, I was obsessed. My dad and mom recorded my friend Flicka, and I'd sit in the living room on their big wood encasement TV, and I would line up all my horse toys. I refused to like cats because I was afraid if I liked cats, I couldn't like horses. That's how I was as a kid. Sethik Kaziko. I think I said that right. But thank you. I love you too. Surprisingly, I'm allergic to the shampoo, and I always have to be picky about what brands to buy. Honestly, Esteban, I don't believe in almost any shampoos that are sold on the market. All of them are full of phosphates, sulfates, parabens, horrible for your head. You'd be better off going to someone like Lush. I know they're absolutely brainwashed in a lot of ways, but their products are fucking legit. I only use their shampoos. Same here. Art was one of my favorite things to do. I started taking it seriously in 2016. Any favorite artists? I'm kind of weird. Like, and I've said it before, guys. I have a hard time picking a favorite for stuff like that. Oh yeah, I'm gonna make this dude extra fluffy. I have a very hard time picking favorites because everyone's got so much talent, and the only favorite I truly have is a favorite author. That's the only favorite that I have, and that's Laurel K. Hamilton. Everything Anita Blake, and to a certain extent Meredith Necessis. If I'm saying her fucking name right, because I always get it wrong. I love Laurel K. Hamilton. She is one of the only things I could say, like, everyone says, like, oh, I had my hero growing up. I didn't have that. But I will say I got super inspired by Anita Blake. That character, she spoke to my soul. I love her. Let's see. Do you stay up on New Year's Eve? Oh, I absolutely do. I absolutely do. I've been watching your videos about fat acceptance, and I agree with you on every one of them. Thank you, Slipknot. I will say that not all my videos in the coming year are going to be about fat acceptance and all of that. I am going to start switching it up because there's only so many times you can do, as Michelle McDaniel says, a fat chick video. Like, there's only so many I can do. But I guess what really got me tired was just the bitches in the fat acceptance movement really think they talk for everybody. And I'm not saying there aren't things they got right, because there are some things they got right, but they're not to the level they're making it sound. They're making it sound like literally a fat person can't walk in the street without being abused by the general public, which is just not the case. Like, so for instance, yesterday, now I was in a hospital, okay? That should be where people are judging you the most, because you're in a hospital, you are overweight, and I was just sitting there minding my own business. I had crap tons of people approach me about my hair, telling me how freaking cute it was and how adorable I looked. And hi, Mr. Potato Head. If I see a fun name, I'm gonna say it. But yeah, I had a lot of people approach me just being uber friendly, telling me how cute I looked, how cute my hair was. You're gonna have stubby legs and you're gonna like it. And that was just awesome. But before I keep talking about myself, how was everyone's Christmas? What did you guys do? Where'd you go? Did you get any good gifts? I have to say, You'll see in my my last video of the year one of my gifts. My dad also got me a Pioneer Woman air fryer, and I can't lie, I'm like super excited for it. I cannot wait to rearrange my counters so it's on there and it looks all cute and adorable. It is fucking huge. Like, my Cindy! This everyone tell Cindy hi and that you love her and she's amazing and that she's like super hardworking and she deserves all the love in the world. Go ahead, it'll super embarrass her. Go ahead, everyone say hi to Cindy. My Christmas was okay, but it wasn't as fascinating as last year. Oh, Slipknot, fill us in. What was last year like? Tell me. Um, but yeah, my Christmas was super great. I had a lot of fun. We had family and friends, and I enjoyed it. Air fryer is dope, Desert. Let me tell you something. Watch what ticket this girl was saying. If someone smells bad fart, everyone assumes it's a fat person. A skinny person will just say it. I mean, here's the thing. I assume whoever is looking around the most is the one who farted. Some people might assume it's the fat person, and oh well if they do. At the end of the day, sometimes it is the fat person, and what does it matter? Like, this is the stuff I'm talking about. Like, oh, we're the victimhood mentality. Okay, and then if it's a room full of men, a room full of women, and there's one guy there. Who do we assume did the fart? The man. So what does it matter? What does it matter? We ate traditional food and some cakes on Christmas. We did the same thing. Well, traditional. We ate pizza. My sister-in-law and my brother were ever so sweet, and they hosted all of us, and they ordered all of us our own pizzas, and it was just a lot of fun. It was really, really great, and I very much enjoy that. Alpacas have little tails, right? Yeah, they got those little fluffy tails. This one's gonna have a nice fluffy tail. It's gonna be a Alpaca. Let's see. See, Cindy's going quiet now. She won't say nothing, but I love you, Cindy. Um, but yeah, it's just, Christmas was just really fun for me. I I enjoy it. As some of you that follow me on Instagram might know that I did a very emotional gift to my dad, and everyone cried. My uncle cried. Well, my uncle wasn't there. My uncle I sent a photo to because he was obviously there at my dad and mom's wedding, and he was like, "Oh, I'm gonna cry, and your dad's gonna cry," and I was like, "That's kind of the goal," and so it was good. I work at a pizza place, and you'd be surprised at the people here who did pizza on Christmas. Hey, I was one of them, Cindy. I was one of them, and you know why? Because especially this year, everyone wants to just have it easy, and if you're having a crap ton of people, and they're all adults, and you just want to relax. Like, we still had other things. Like, we had dessert trays, and I made cookies for everybody, and I made cocoa bombs, which everyone is very kindly telling me that they came out well. And I'm glad. If you're lying, keep lying. We stayed home, watched movies, gamed. Oh, and I have cemented. Serenity just reminded me. I have cemented. I'm getting a Switch in the next year. So, Ruin Leon, if you are watching, if you're somewhere in the crowd, bitch, I'm coming for you. I had a steak dinner. It was delicious. See, that's amazing. Mike Harlow posted on his Twitter that he made prime rib, and I hate him because how fucking dare he? That looked so good. It was beautiful. And I love prime rib. You know what the craziest thing is? I was in Vegas, and what do you always get when you're in Vegas? You get prime rib. And guess what? I wasn't able to do the whole time. Oh, Angelic Diablo, don't remind me. It was a beautiful 40 degrees just a week ago, and now it's like 70 degrees every day. It's like almost 80 degrees on some days. And I'm just like, I'm so pissed. So I can't wait because it's going back down in another few days, but right now, it's nasty. I apologize if you can hear that loud sound. That's Orion cleaning his dick. So I apologize. That's him right below me having a blast. You know you're nasty, right? Yeah, I'm talking to you. Yeah. Let's see. This alpaca's coming out a little better to me than the dog did. I will tell you right now, guys. After the I posted it, I noticed how the dog's eyes run even, and that's gonna haunt me forever. Because I don't know, it's very difficult me because like usually I'm like this while drawing. I say it every stream, but I'm like usually like this because I guess it's anxiety. I don't know what it is, but I can't sit there with my face on the paper while talking to you. Oh, Vivus, that's what we're doing today. Um, watercolor, in case anyone's just listening. We had a coof scare. My extended family told me to stay away. I was hurt by this, but at least I got to spend time with my mom and dad, and I watched a lot of streams. So overall, could be worse. I agree. That sucks. I've had some friends that after their Christmas family parties, elderly people are always there, and they said, the Covivi uh, was involved. I may not necessarily be afraid of Covivi because I got a pretty strong immune system, except against marijuana. Um, but I do think if there's an elderly people in your family, you should, My boyfriend made some delicious prime rib. You know what, Esteban? You and Mikey can just get the fuck out. You just stop it. Torture me with all this prime rib that I can't have. Oh, apparently I shamed my dog out of the room because he left. Here it will be 77. Mitch, how far are you from me? Because I'm in North Kakalaka. Hello, Peter. Also, I finally got to see Spider-Man Homecoming. No spoilers yet because I do believe in the months, not just 2 weeks. But I gotta say, guys, if you haven't seen it, go see it. It's so good. And it is truly in my opinion, the only thing I'll say about it is fan service. The whole movie is exactly what the fans need. Me and my dad have gotten over sinus infections. I hate sinus infections the most because you get that weird lump in the roof of your mouth, and you're like, and you don't want to talk, and swallowing is uncomfortable. Yes, everyone dies. Batman dies. Wonder Woman dies. Aang does not become the Avatar. It's terrible. We splurged on bison. Now that's different. I can't get mad about that. Bison, what the hell? That's so cute. That's so cool, rather. Should I put a bow under its neck? I think I should put a little bow from the hat. I don't know. I'm trying to think what I'm gonna put for the background. I'll do the critter first. We'll work our way from there. By the way, I'm watching with my daughter. Shout out to Maria Antonia and hi Maria Antonia and Nancy. That's awesome. How old are they? Because I swear a lot. It's an awesome movie. I watched it in theaters. Yeah, I honestly, I know someone. Most of you know this someone. Has gone over 24 times to see it in theaters. I'm not going to see it that much, but I do kind of want to go see it one more time. I do. It was that good. 9, 5, and 3. Oh, Peter, I'm so sorry that I'm swearing so much with your kids in the room. Then I got the chance to eat alligator sausage. I've had ostrich, alligator, and kangaroo beef jerky. Those were good. 20. Yes, Vivi. 24 times. The man loves the damn film. He loves it. And I say, you know what? More power to you. That's your money, not mine. I'm not even angry. Make it a point to try and not give money to companies that hate me just for breathing. I don't blame you. Me personally, the problem with it is that my entire life companies have hated me for one thing or another. And so I just don't care. I'll get what I want. Yes, Esteban. Yes, it was. And it's just, yes, it is dedication. It is dedication, especially because he did it in 1 week. That's what was most impressive. He did it all in 1 freaking week, and I was like, boy, no. You know what, Arteezy, you're not funny. And I gotta say, looking at the color, so I've never compared watercolors before, right? Going off on a segue. I had reindeer jerky. Ooh. You do you, friend. I appreciate that. Manta ray. Oh, now I can read it properly. So if you look at the difference in the way the watercolor sits on the paper, when I look at this, it almost looks like it's printed on, but you can tell this was painted on. So we're going to test today and see which one sits better on the paper. Again, I've never used bougie watercolors before. This is the first time. I bought them on a whim, again, because of Inktober. Of course, it's no wonder he has spoiling it on Gothics. Yo, I had to stay away from Leon for a hot minute because he kept threatening to spoil it. Anytime I said anything, he'd bust my ass, and I was like, you know what? We ain't playing. We ain't chatting like that. I hate spoilers. So one of the things, my biggest gripes about Hollywood today is that they know they're making shit movies. And here's how I know they know they're making shit movies. Because whenever they come out with a decent movie, they put all the good shit in the trailer just to ensure you actually show up. And I get mad because they could put plenty of other stuff in it. They choose not to. And then they come at you later acting like, oh, well, it's your fault. Oh, well, no one showed up to the theaters because of COVID. Yeah, okay. Tell that to 24 times Leon. That's what I'm talking about. Like, I hear people all the time, oh, well, the reason this movie bombed is because of this, that, and the other. And then another movie comes out at the exact same time and absolutely fucking kills it. And they have no excuse. They have none. I use really nice watercolor paper too. Are you using cold pressed? I'm going to pretend that I know. Let's see. It is cold pressed. It's Canson. So my way of judging watercolor paper is this. Ooh. I'll take that. That's my problem. I'm really bad at those judging the what's the word I'm looking for? Important details. I intend in the next year, it's one of my goals is to actually understand the difference between the papers and everything and be a more responsible artist. Have you watched Don't Look Up? So what is that about? I've heard about it, but I don't have any fucking clue what it's about. And that's why I was like, I don't get it. I don't know what it is. I will tell you, and I said it on other streams. If it's dramatic, if it's sad, if people are going to die, like en masse, and no one's happy in the end, I don't like it. I don't want to see it. If it's some Steel Magnolia shit, I don't want anywhere near it. Movies don't succeed because people no longer want to see pure wokeness. Oh my god, you mean like West Side Story, the remake nobody asked for, and then they had to sit there and say, oh, we're going to make sure that the English language isn't taking a forefront. You're in an English-speaking country. Like, what the fuck? I don't fucking get people. I get it, you want them to take the forefront, but I mean, come on. I think I'm going to use this tan. I'm going to make it like off-whitey. I think it's going to be very cute. I think it's going to be adorable. Let's see. Oh, taking our first steps, guys. Our first steps into bougie watercolors. Let's see. Now we're going to see his art is dead, but who killed it? Hello, Aria. I know. Let's see. I'm actually going to try something that I just thought of this very second and didn't think of 5 minutes ago when I started this. That's how I do. I'm on the edge. I saw this on Instagram. Now let's see how it works. It doesn't work at all because I'm special. What, Aria? No, you can't come up, baby. No, you can't. I'm sorry. You can't. You can get on my butt. That's what you can do. You have your choice. If you can hear that wild purring, that's my husband's cat. Technically all of ours. Uh Aria. And once she decides she wants to be held, she doesn't want to hear no. Let's see. I think it's like satire at the end of the film. Just so your art and they're all. Thank you, Mr. Potato Head. Those water pans. Yes, these are a lifesaver, guys. I love these things. I have watercolor brushes. Oh, good. Arya gave up. Arya is like my heaviest cat, so when she decides she wants something, it's very uncomfortable. But yeah, having these water pens, oh, I love it. They make watercolor just so much more comfortable. So let's try this. Let's see. Let's. I'm trying techniques. I feel like a real artist. You can let her appear on screen. I can, but that bitch will mess up my painting. I don't know where the hell she went. She ran off. Aria, where'd you go? I think she squeezed into the closet. See, this is technically a bedroom that I'm in, and I have used it as the what we call the cat room for the last few years. And we were gonna convert it into a bedroom for my best friend that passed away. That obviously did not happen because again he passed away. And oh, Greta's in. Greta, you definitely can't come up on the stream. You will break my desk. Thank you, sweetheart. Um, and then when I started working with Gothics, I was like, I can't keep sitting in the kitchen because it's massively echoey, and the dogs constantly crash into me, and the cats constantly run across my desk, and so I had to make a choice. And I was like, you know what? Okay, all right, fine. I will make my art room, and so I did. And I planned it for a long time because I wanted it to look a certain way. I wanted to feel all celestial and pretty in here. And I think I achieved that. I do get a lot of compliments from you guys about my overall aesthetic, and thank you for that. Let's see. But yeah, what I want to do is for the next year, my really big hope is that perhaps in the next year, my art can become as integral to my image to you guys as my opinions are. Originally, I was thinking about doing one of my original characters today, but I think next week for the new year, I'll do that. So I'll try to get some paintings of them out so that way you guys can decide who you want to see. I like how that's coming out so far. Look, your dog is so extra. Oh my, all my animals are extra. The dollar store clouds turned out amazing, right? Like, all right, so I got the lanterns and the glue, and I got the like. I made those on the cheap. Let me tell you something. I made that shit on the cheap. Um, Now in some ways that was negative because like one of the clouds is definitely requiring to be either fixed up or brought forward so that way it doesn't crash on me. And I understand that, and I know that I eventually will have to upgrade what I've got, and I understand that completely. You're coming over here because we're gonna make a mix. Um, but I love what I achieved. I really, really do. Because I didn't think I'd be able to, first off. I did not think that I would be able to work that out. You're going to be my clean off water. You're going to be my fresh water. Because, you know, you see in action, you see people sitting there saying, oh, I made this and it was amazing. You're like, yeah, okay. And then you go make it yourself and it's like, wow, this is shit. But now I was pretty happy. I will say that prepare yourself to have a practice cloud. That's something that I will tell everyone. Have a practice cloud because that makes a big difference. This is one of the best. If you're a watercolor artist, invest in a tiny pen, a tiny brush. Can't even see the brush tip. I love these things. They're so fun. When it barked in your last video about, oh my god, see, so I bet I can get him to do it right now. Who is it? Who is it? Orion, who is it? Go see. Go see who's at the door. There's nobody at the door, by the way. Go see. Who is it? Go see. Go show him. Sorry if I busted anyone's eardrums, but that's how I get him. Anytime I shout, that's why he does that, because he's like, oh, someone's here. And he will turn into Mr. Protective out of nowhere. When we lived in the apartments, he never did that. He only did it once we moved out here. I think because the silence freaked him out. He did not like it. So he started getting more protective of the house and of us. He's mega protective of Greta. If other dogs approach her, he gets all like attitudey. He got him so good. Yup. And now Greta's standing next to me. She's like, somebody coming in the house? See, because I don't know how many of you know, I babysit every week for my husband's best friend. And when the kids come, Greta's kind of weird because sometimes it's just Ray and the kids, and it's great. And sometimes it's people she doesn't know that are going to work with Ray. That's when Greta goes from, I'm okay, to shit. Stuff just got real. I am done. I need to escape. Things are not looking good. Like, she just gets very extra. Now they're both pressed against me. Because now he's like, Mom, you tricked me. There's nobody out there, is there? No, son, there isn't. But you entertained the masses, Orion, and that's what we wanted. Let's see. Do you do commissions? So I have gotten actually a couple of you guys asking about commissions. I do. But here's the thing. I have recently been brought to light that my dear Cindy, who is somewhere in here listening, commissioned me last year. I went through all of the effort to make sure I got the drawing pad, and I sketched it out, and I got it all lined, and it was all beautiful. And then I didn't finish it. And she knows this. And she is the kindest, sweetest, loving, most beautiful person ever to forgive me. And so I need to get her commission done first. But once I do, I've gotten several of you asking to commission me. I am going to sit down. I am going to work out how much it's going to cost, because in some ways I've got to redo my commission costs, because I don't know what's good commission costs. How long have I been married? How could you tell? Hi, Lawrence. Well, LG. How you doing? I have been married since 2012, and my husband and I have been together since literally the day I made this YouTube. May 26th, 2006 was the day I met my husband, and that was the day I made this account. How funny is that? Let's see. This looks more like a llama. You know what? It's whatever I want it to be. Alpacas and llamas are very similar. Esteban. But I hope you guys like my next video. This one I made more for you guys, just because, one, it felt like a good end of year video. It's coming out obviously tomorrow. If you're on my Patreon, you can watch it today. I just wanted to do a little thump. You're doing immensely better than a particular person we both know. Shh. I'm trying to be good in the new year, LG. I'm trying to be a good girl. No negativity. But you're right. That's okay. As I said to you earlier, there's an ass for every toilet. He's got his, they've got their little, whatever. Who knows? Maybe I'll get my own hate videos soon. Wouldn't that be swank? Wouldn't that be something cool? Then I'll be a real YouTuber. Because someone will be mad at me. Seriously, if anyone had told me that at this point I would be monetized and doing all this, I'd have been shocked. Honesty in 2022. 2022 be the year honesty, baby. Honesty. All right, so what should we add? I think... yeah, we're going to add a bit of rust. Because now we're going to do the body part. Listen here. Hate from a guy. Well, that's not who we're referring to. I will say he's technically more successful than me. And you know what? Let him. But you're also right, Serenity. Well, it's going to be a long year. I am feeling, so I will make a note of this and hopefully we talk about it sometime next week. Remind me, because I just had an ADHD moment. We talking about artwork or commissioning me. Here's what I will tell you. Anyone who wants to commission me, please send me a private note on Instagram. I like to make a habit of keeping things in little checklists. And if you message me on there, you're on there so I can find you and I can checklist it. Does that make any sense? I hope it does. Next year, not week? No, I know. But it's just so that way it's there so whenever we do finally do the do. I don't have Insta, but I do have Discord. You can message me on Discord too. Those will all work. I'm happy for you and the really glad to see friends making it. Thank you, LG. Hey, listen, you've been a supporter and I'm glad because, you know, someday I'll be as good as you on all this. Let's see. I'm going to wet the face first again because I kind of liked how that came out. That wasn't too shabby. Running out of water on there. Well, next week is next year. This is true. This is true. So what is everyone doing for New Year's Eve? What are your traditions? My tradition is predicting now because where I live, there's a dude with a fucking cannon, and I'm not joking. And every year at midnight, he launches off his cannon. And I swear, now I know that since I live in the country and I live in the deep south, I understand there's going to be guns. When I tell you midnight here sounds like a motherfucking war zone, it sounds like a war zone. Like, whoo, kids, there's guns going off everywhere. There's cannons going off. I try to make sure the dogs are in the crate well before midnight just because of that, because it goes crazy around here. Like a literal cannon. The man launches off 3 or 4 cannonballs. I just wish I had the money I'd be given. Oh, thanks, honey. I think I'm working New Year's Eve. Oh, that stinks, Phobos. First day of the deer season is like that around here. Yeah, it's a cannon. First year it happened was I nearly shit myself. I was like, "What the hell was that?" Then my landlord was like, "Oh yeah, that's the guy with the cannon two streets down." Thank you for letting me know. I appreciate you. She's a bit chaotic. I love her. We stay home just the two. I'm getting pizza. We stay home just the two of us on New Year's. We drink mead. Wow. I'm celebrating my Christmas and New Year's because my friend had to work. My friends has to exchange gifts. I'm hoping I'm negative and going out. I don't blame you. What has anyone got restrictions where they are? Because that'll stink. I'm getting Chinese food, hopefully. That is my hope. I'm going to pull this week's finances, see if I can do that. That's something we try to do every year. We pop open a bottle of Martinelli's because my husband is weak sauce and doesn't drink alcohol. And I don't know what that means. Vom Red. I don't know if that's a bot thing or what. I don't know what it means. Get back here. Stay away from the rest of the hooves. Cha. Cha. You know, you'd think it sounds fun. But at 4 a.m., when he should be done, it's not as fun. I will tell you that, Mr. Potato Head. See, I just like greeting the new year. And what used to bother me a lot was my husband would work overnight. And I believe in the good luck of the kiss at the ball drop. I know it's not real, but I don't give a shit. I believe in it. And for the longest time, I didn't get that. So I do love that I get that now. Are you erasing? Well, no, it was bleeding into the other color. So what I did was I did a base color, and now I'm going back in and I'm using details on it. So I'm not erasing the color, merely utilizing it to its full potential. But also, by the way, guys, I don't know how pertinent it is to you, but guess who's finally fully monetized? Woohoo! It was a nice surprise yesterday when I got home from my dad and his errands. When I saw that, I was like, yes! So yeah, sometimes at watercolor, Esteban, you have to take away to put back. Does that make any sense? This one needs a little more water. Watercolor is a lot about layering and things like that. I saw you. Thank you, Phobos. I'm pretty stoked. I had a couple of friends message me say, "It's so soon, congratulations." And see, again, I said it last time. I did not realize that this shit took a long time. Because so many people have it. I assumed this was something that everyone did. It was very quick, very easy. And then then I found out I was wrong. All right, so let's see. We want to do something cute for the hat. What colors look good for the hat? I think I want to stay with the warm colors. I kind of really like that royal blue. Let's see, is it still wet? It's not too bad. I know. I'm surrounded by animals right now. I think that makes sense. Thank you. So let's see. I think I'm going to do that amaranth up here. That's just a really pretty color. That is a really pretty color. I like that. This watercolor is gorgeous. Like, I can't lie. It's really pretty. I enjoy well-made products. And this, I'd heard of them, but I'm glad I purchased it because they really do make very good watercolors. And I understand that those little pan ones you get from like freaking Dollar Tree, obviously those are not going to be the greatest watercolor you're ever going to use. because they're very chalky. They got a lot of fillers. But I assume once you get to like the Arteza level, there's not much of a big difference between them and this one. Hi, Bernillion. Very cool name. I know a lot of you guys have wicked cool names. But I always assumed once you got to that point, once you've seen one, you've seen them all kind of thing. But I guess I'm really wrong on that. I guess I'm pretty wrong on that shit. So what should we do for the background? That's my wonder. I can't just have a really cute little prancing guy. Let's see. Although I will say this one is much more successful than the last few I've done. I really do feel that. Let's see. What do you guys think? What should we have in the background? And try to be gentle with me. I was thinking like abstract shapes. A night sky. Now I could do a night sky. Would you want the little llama / alpaca dancing across clouds? I could probably do that. Let's see. What colors do I have? And how would I do that? That's a good question. Well, that hat is because I've got a sky color. I've got the deep blue right here. It's a very pretty color. So let's see. Let's start with this because we got to make the clouds. Let's see. I think it'll be a cute little llama dancing across the sky. Be a dream llama. I think I've ever drawn one. I think it's my first time ever actually drawing a llama. You are not wet enough for what I need. Let's see. For first time, I guess I'm not doing too bad. It's just llama's never been my thing. I know they're the big thing on the internet, but they've never been my thing. Why did I do that? This has water in it. My God. Everyone, let's all laugh at Starson as she pulls water from the well after she already has water in its own personal well. Oh, 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 oh. All right, let's see. I learned this technique in my first cloud drawing, and it came out very pretty. But I've had a hard time replicating it. I don't know if it's because I'm special or I'm just not doing it quite right, but we'll see how this works. Because apparently the key to clouds is layering. That's the key to watercolor clouds. You can't just... I bought it cheap but it turned out pretty nice. Yeah, I mean, listen, if you can make it work, I have seen some artists here on YouTube make cheap stuff work beautifully. I don't know if it's because of I'm lazy or what. I'm just not one of them. I am not one of these people that can be like, yeah, I use Crayola and it looks just like Prismacolor. I'm not that person. She ain't me, I ain't she. Hello, Greta. Clouds are literally the only thing I can paint. Now, you're gonna see me get pissed if this blue starts to bleed into the llama. Because that means I done fucked up. I don't believe it's going to. See, that's the one problem I get. You guys ever see these artists that sit there and they paint something over like a series of days and months? Like they's like, oh, it took me some odd hours. I fucking hate that. I don't hate them or their piece. I hate having to do that. I don't know if it's an anxiety thing for me. I don't know what it is. I don't like the idea of taking that much time on a piece. I feel like I'm going to fuck it up. I feel like the more I look at it, it's going to not work out. I don't know what it is totally. But yeah, I get really weird about that. Anyone? That was a bird hitting my damn window. And if anyone heard that. See, Vermilion, you are correct. You are 100% correct. It is much better. But that's where my impatience flies straight into the face. I get impatient with this stuff. But I think right now I am going to let the llama dry a little bit because I did the basis of it. So I looked up what's the difference between an alpaca and a llama, and I still can't tell the difference. Poor, yes, it happens all the time here. So in my front lawn, I have a bunch of bird feeders. They will bounce into my side door where the dogs go out to go to the bathroom. They will bounce into my windows, and they thonk it. They don't just hit it, they thonk it. And I purposely have left my windows dirty so they wouldn't, but apparently a difference it does not make. I heard that. Well, it happens all the time here. All the woodland creatures come to me, guys. I'm not joking when I say this. Matter of fact, there's a squirrel family up in the corner of this room. Not in the room. They're in the ceiling above it. And I got to figure out how to get them out because they are damaging my ceiling. But yeah. Woodland creatures flock to me. It's just the way it is. Is that still wet? I bet you it is. It is. I fucked it up a little bit. It's okay. You're a Disney princess, and yes, I wish, but it's like I get all the raccoons and the squirrels and the I get the trash pandas. I don't get the cool stuff. Um, let's see. On the topic of language, here in the province of Quebec, we have an actual language police. Its main purpose is to ensure that French. Yes, I have heard about this. And I get a big kick out of it, Peter, because here's why I will tell you. Here in America, we get told all the time how horrible we are because we prefer English and we must be evil and racist and supremacists. And Canada is so much better than us because they don't do that. And then I say, have you been to Quebec? My cats go crazy for squirrels. My cats don't give a shit. Nay, nay. Lizards, on the other hand. The only animals around my place is a cat that gave birth under my sister's bike. Aw. Whatchamacallit? All the stray cats come to my property. There's one stray cat that has a litter under my property every year. And several of the cats that I have, or my family has, come from the cats I've saved on this property. The Office de la Langue Française. Ha ha! Yeah. Yup. I have heard of this. I have. It's insane, but you are correct. Obviously, you're correct. You live there. But yeah, when I tell people about that, I'm like, stop acting like we're so evil. Like, You don't say it to a single other country. Every other country has a set language. Every other country that you're comparing us to, they have a set language, and they're very set in it. Glad I'm not the only one that says whatchamacallit. So I have a friend. I don't know if she's watching. She might. I know she liked the thing. Her name's Amber, and she said she always makes fun of me because I say whatchamacallit all the time, and whenever I say it, she goes whatchamacallit. Shut up. Like my cats are crazy for lizards, but they get crazier for squirrels. I don't know why. My dog goes insane for squirrels. He will chase them around the yard. I'm glad he's never caught one because squirrels are fucking vicious. Like, they nasty. They go around with a ruler and find your business if English is not half the... God almighty. See? They wonder why we make fun of the French. No offense to you, Peter. They wonder why. It's just... I go up to Maine every once in a while to my husband's family's property. And up there, she's up there. Well, she was. My husband's Nana lived there. And there were newspapers in the area printed, and they would boast that they weren't in French. Or that they not in French and not printed in Canada. And I was like, okay. Doctors have been suspended for not passing a French grant. What? Wow. I would much rather my doctor be a good doctor than say a certain language. What the hell? Oh my God. Just get an interpreter. My God. But that's to say, like, there's a lot of differences between countries. Like, I will say that, like, most countries are hella racist in one way or another. But I will say there's some things that other countries do that I wish we would do. Like, typical weeb, I like, there's a lot of things about Japan and what they do, and things they do with schooling for kids. Those are things that I wish we would emulate, and I do believe they do a better job of making adult jobs sound better. So, like, for instance, and anyone wondering, I am taking Brumillian's advice, and I'm letting it dry. See, still not dry there. Although I think I can do up here. Yeah, I can do up there. I'm taking their advice, and I'm letting this mostly dry. I think I'm going to do royal blue with purple for the hat. I keep leaning on the wet spot, though. It is illegal to stop at what you're saying. Your cats would love my back porch. Lizards everywhere. See, my back porch has the lizards, and my cats just, my cats and the dogs. Not so much Greta. She doesn't have much of a prey drive. But Orion. Whew. That boy got prey drive for days. Yeah, I'm talking about you. If you can hear him huffing and puffing as he's walking over. Was that about me, mother? Hello, you two. Look where. Vendors that come from the U.S. and the Montreal Comic-Con were fined for lack of... Wow. You can't even be a foreigner? That's racist. Get away. What do you two want? What? What do you want? What do you want? You being loud. Yeah. Why are you so vocal? With your heavy breathing. Hi, Gabrielle. What do you want? I know. He's sitting here licking his lips at me. You being weird. What, Orion? Don't you start whacking shit with your tail. If you can hear that, that's my dog's tail smacking at everything. Let's see. don't know how I feel. I think I'm going to want to add a little purple to the top of the hat too, just to make it more cohesive. Here we go. Oh, great. Now they're going to start roughhousing. You're all about to hear like World War III in my house. The animals want to be the stars. The Star Sun show. I will wax them. Oh my god. He's bad, dude. Like, he's so bad. He knows that I'm talking to someone. He doesn't know who. And so he's bringing me... Drop it. He's bringing me toys. If you want it, sit. Wait. Go get it. He'll bring me toys. He'll bring me stuff. Hi, Selma. Gotta make a phone call. All right, well, you better be back. He'll bring me toys. He'll bring me all sorts of different things because mommy's got to pay attention to him, of course. It's just necessary, according to Orion, at least. And that's just how he do. He's ridiculous. He is extra. And he is very demanding as a pet. Like, and it's weird because he's weirdly demanding and not demanding. So, like, when I ignore him, truly ignore him, like I'm laying down and I'm napping, for the most part, he lets me do that. And if I'm cooking, he'll sit at my feet and passively guilt me. Greta, on the other hand, Greta will actively guilt you. She will stand in the middle of the living room and she will whine very loudly. And she'll stare at you and whine very loudly because she wants you to pay attention to her. And she doesn't care. She doesn't care that you're in the middle of something. She doesn't care that you're doing something. She doesn't care that you're unable to do stuff for her. All she wants is the attention. Oh, I'm doing clouds. So someone suggested the background should be a night sky for this llama. And I said, well, that sounds like a plan to me. Like right now, going back to what I was saying, Greta is pressing herself hard against me. Why? Because I am not paying attention to her. And so she will slowly guilt me and she'll continue to walk in. And she'll be like, Mother, you've done that long enough now. Now it's time to love me. And she'll continue to do that until I stop. And she's really bad. She's really bad. That was the whole reason why I got a second dog to begin with. So Orion came to me while I was actively looking for another dog. I said to my husband, Greta is lonely. And we weren't able to keep Xena, who was another dog I was training at the time. We couldn't keep Xena. Events happened, preventing me from keeping her. And so I needed to get another dog. I told my husband, because I'm going to kill this dog if she doesn't shut up. And a friend of mine adopted Orion and shouldn't have. Come on. I'm pouring water in the reservoir, so forgive me for going quiet for a second. There. It's hard to do without spilling. And so I was looking for a 2 to 3 year old female dog, preferably like an Aussie or a border collie, something that was a different breed from Greta, but that had her energy. Ooh, I got blue on me. That had her energy, so she wouldn't be lonely, and so that the dog could play with her. I didn't want a male. Males were trouble. Males came with somewhat aggression. I wasn't ready for that at that moment. I was still a new dog owner at the time. I was like, no, we're going to look for a female. Maybe even get a smaller breed. Who knows? Smaller breeds come with a lot of energy. That'll be perfect. There was 1 or 2 dogs that potentially I could have gotten. However, one of them, of course, I picked her. She had cancer. The rescue that pulled her for me also wouldn't let me adopt her because I was in an apartment that technically wouldn't allow it. You know, dang them with their logic. And I was like, okay. And as I remember bringing her to meet this one dog. Now, mind you, Greta got along with every canine. But if the dog didn't get along with Greta and didn't seem interested in me, what was the point? There was this dog at the shelter, Sasha. She was huge, but she was so cute. And she was everything I was looking for. She was the right age. She was the right breed. And, or rather, just she wasn't a boxer pit, main thing. And I was like, this is perfect. This will work out. Greta gets along with every dog. So I brought Greta to the shelter to meet Sasha. Sasha couldn't give two shits about me or Greta. Sasha couldn't wait to get back into the shelter. That's all she cared about. She wanted nothing to do with me. She wanted nothing to do with Greta. And I was like, well, me and the wife and I watch a random movie. We've been doing it for 3 years. That's really cool, Peter. So, yeah. So Sasha didn't work out. We didn't get Sasha because Sasha didn't give two shits about us. She had zero interest in us. And I was like, well, there goes that idea. And so I sat down and I was like, well, we'll just give it a few months. And at the same time, like I said, somebody had adopted Orion. And at the time, he was named Aquaman. Clearly, I did not like the name. And about a month, no, not even a couple of weeks into owning him, she told me she couldn't handle him, which is definitely understandable. She was like, I can't take him on the road because he gets too upset. He was young at the time. She's like, and I can't leave him because my husband will just give him away. Can you take him? Or do you know any rescues that will? Well, Orion is a purebred blue-nosed pit bull. Okay. I don't know if any of you know rescue or know dogfighting rings or things like that. But Orion is literally exactly what they look for in dogfighting rings. He's young. He shows the chance to be aggressive. He's got drive. He's strong. He's muscular. He's got a good attitude, and he's human friendly. That's all that they would have to see. And she's telling me she's going to bring him to the shelter. And our local shelter, it's actually, no, I didn't name him for that, Esteban. I am not that big of a comic person. No. I will get to his name in a minute. She named him Aquaman because he liked water, which Orion likes water to drink. He does not like water like that, but either way. So I whatchamacalls it. I was like, no, give him to me. Orion and Greta, when I say immediately, I'm saying like I introduced him to her and it was like magic. There's a video on my Facebook somewhere of them just their first meeting, and they were going ape shit with each other. They were roughhousing, and she was roughhousing with him the way she roughhoused with adults. Because Greta had been around puppies and she knew how to treat them. She didn't with Orion. And at the time, Matt was like, we're going to look for a new home for him. Yeah, okay. So the reason why I named him Orion was, one, again, I was not keeping that name Aquaman. No. But if you looked at his eyes were this weird amber and blue. And it was like amber shots of brown and blue. Hi, Leon, my nephew. And when I looked at them, I was like, he kind of looks like he has galaxy eyes. And a person I do not like, but did come up with a great idea. He said, you mean like the Orion Galaxy? And I looked it up. And when I tell you, nearly spot on, Orion's eyes look like the Orion Galaxy. And I was like, that's it. That's his name. Because I was trying to think of like really cool, not to sound racist, but black guy names like, Tiberius and just, strong, muscular, manly names. Because he was a strong, muscular, manly dog. And Tiberius was one I was kind of stuck on. I was mad that nobody else liked it. But everyone was like, no. And then when I started saying Orion, I was like, damn, that is a good fucking name. And so that's what stuck. And I will say this to everyone. If you're thinking about getting a dog and you're thinking about getting any kind of working class dog, I've probably said it before in the past, and I'm going to go over it again when I do make the eventual animal video that I want to make. Please, please, please don't get a working class dog unless you need it, because I was stupid. Okay? Knowing what I know now, I wouldn't trade Orion for anything in the world, and I would not give him away, but I would have been more prepared, because owning a working class dog is not like owning a regular dog. Hi, Sean. I'm in bed with Kovivi. Oh no. I hope you feel better, honey. I get whatever dog I want, sucker. Listen, nephew. Don't backsass me. Just shush and you listen. But I tell this because the problem is that when you get a working class dog, you've got a dog that needs a job. And I mean literally needs a job. You can't sit around with that dog and expect it to be patient the way a regular dog will. I had to train Orion to be as patient as he is. And once I trained him to be that way, he's great. Working class dogs, if you don't teach them something, if you don't give them meaning, they will find meaning. And sometimes that can be really hilarious. And sometimes that can be very violent. And it can come out against your other pets. It can come out against your furniture. It can come out against other people's pets. And so I tell people this because Orion really has a hard time with many situations. And it's because he can't contain his excitement. Literally, I've never met a dog more excited about anything in the entire world. And when I say about anything, I mean because literally anything could be happening. And Orion's like, holy shit, let's get on this. Like, he's like ready. And that's why I really warn people, because a lot of folks I know will get a dog because they're cute. They'll get a dog because they like the way it looks. Like for instance, how pit bulls are the bad dogs these days. Back in the day, it was Dobermans and Rottweilers due to other movies. And at one point, it was German Shepherds. They were the worst dogs on the planet, and now they're one of the most popular. Every dog goes through it. See, yes, they will. You can't keep a Marmot in a... Yeah, you can't. It's very cruel. And I tell people that I've got friends who will buy large dogs, and they really belong buying a Chihuahua. I've got friends that will get working class dogs and then can't figure out why the dog is destroying their house or chewing up their property or attacking other animals. And I'm like, did you research what your dog needs? And that's a big thing I find out most people do not do. Most people do not research shit. And see, this is where, if you notice, I can really go off on a tangent. Animal stuff, this is what I know the best. This is my true passion project. And I always will talk about animals because that's the thing. People really don't realize what it takes. German Shepherds can't fit in a Louis bag. Hey, I mean, depends on the Louis bag. But no, you're right. People, I get it. People want what they want and they can do what they want at the end of the day. This is true. But I wish people, like they said in Jurassic Park, just because you can, you didn't focus on if you should. My future bulldog, but a bulldog is not the same thing as a working class pit bull. That's the thing. It's not the same thing. And there's a lot easier to get a family bred bulldog out there. But a lot of times, if you're going to a professional bred person for a pit bull, you're not getting a dog made for families. You're getting a dog made to do a job. Um, and that's just, it's a whole thing I'm going to go over. People don't know what to look for. But that's not a problem with being, the thing is, Esteban, I'm not talking about pit bulls being a problem. I'm talking about the type of pit bull. Like, I think someone said in the last one, I didn't know pit bulls could get that big when I said how heavy Orion is. Because he is 110 pounds. And I tell people, yeah, if you get a working class pit bull, they can get that size and bigger. I think the biggest I've seen was 175. And that's just because that's what they're bred to do. They are bred to be large, muscular, imposing dogs. And there is literally nothing wrong with that. And I love it in some ways because Orion can be a great deterrent when I don't want to talk to people. Like, yes, baby, that's right. Make mommy look like a bitch. And I love that. But I've also had grown-ass adults run screaming from him. Literally, I would sit and you guys will like the story. I definitely stay tuned for your yes, because when they come, they're gonna come and they're gonna be filled with more righteous indignation than you've ever seen. Because I approach my fat positivity stuff on an emotional and philosophical level. On the animal stuff, nah, bitch, I know what I'm talking about. Don't at me. Don't at me with that shit. Cause I know the shit I'm talking about there. But it's just like, I would sit in the gas station or in the whatchamacallit. Come on, I gotta squeeze all this out. I would go to get my oil changed. And when I go to get my oil changed, there'd be these people. I would go in with Orion, and I've got photos probably on my Instagram somewhere of me just sitting with Orion and Greta inside the little area. Because if we're sitting there for a few hours, I'm not going to make the dog sit on the pavement. I'm going to have him come sit inside where there's AC or whatever, what have you. And I have had full-grown men come into the room, see Orion go, and literally run screaming. And I'm not joking when I say that. It's hilarious. You haven't lived till you've seen a full-grown man run screaming from a dog that isn't even moving. And that was a funny thing, because Orion wouldn't budge. He wouldn't move an inch. And these people would run screaming. I had a woman snatch her child. I was on the other side of PetSmart. Like, we're talking like I was a solid at least 10 yards from this woman. She saw me walking with Orion. Now, to give you an idea of how I look when I walk with Orion. Again, you've seen photos now, guys. I am not a small woman. I have him tethered to my waist. There's a belt attached to the fucking dog. She ran like Orion was in a full run towards her. That's how fast she ran from him. One would think he was in a full sprint towards her. Her family judged her because she literally grabbed her baby and ran. And I had to shout after him, like, if he was chasing you, you'd be screwed. It pissed me off. I've had people do that a lot, though. Like with Orion and Greta. I think I've told the story before. I was walking through the park once, and Greta was attached to me. Hi, you heard me talking about you? Yeah? What, baby girl? I was walking to the park, and this kid was walking this big school of other kids. It was a summer course, I guess. And Greta was very quietly, being my good little girl, walking beside me. She was maybe, at the time, 25 pounds. She was little. And this girl saw Greta and said, "Stay away from the pit bull. It'll bite you." And I spun around. I said, "She might not, but I will. And if you keep that shit up, I'll make sure she bites you." Yeah, the paper's getting hella wet. It's gonna be this is what I do. I get I get all up in it. But I kind of like the roughness of the water. You know what I'm saying? Like, I love when it looks like that little rough. What do you guys think so far? Pull this out the way. I think I'm going to have it trailing little stars. What time? It's already 1:21. Hey, hey. Hi, Marcus. But, yeah, I've had kids plant themselves against walls upon seeing Orion. Now, granted, at the time when he was a puppy, this was a bad habit of his. I got it out of him. When he really wanted to see somebody, he would just sit there and bark and continuously, loudly bark at them in this high pitched little bitch ass bark. And I'm like, you need to fucking stop, dude. Like, you're gonna freak someone out. And around this time was in that uh German Shepherd got shot in New York on the leash by some trigger happy dude who thought just so happens the dog might kill him. And I was like, that happened to a German Shepherd. It'll definitely happen to my dog. So, I get nervous about that stuff. That's why my dogs are crate trained. Because most folks don't realize if your dog is in the house loose and a cop comes in for any reason, like let's say there's a pursuit and the cop happens to be on your property for any reason or in your house, and they enter your property and the dog is loose, they have 100% right to shoot your dog. And you're not gonna, but it's true. Cute, looking great. Is that a llama? Yes, the llama. I always hated people who would criticize me for walking my pit bulls. If I'm getting chased by a dog, then pop goes the weasel. But what I'm talking about, Leon, is that you come into my house without my permission. You don't even know me. You enter the premises and the dog is just there. There's been chihuahuas shot for this. Chihuahuas. Just sitting there doing nothing, and police have shot chihuahuas. So they'll most certainly shoot a pit bull. And that's because many people get very, very terrified of dogs. And yeah, it's completely legal. It's about it's all in the name of a pursuit. Depends on the pursuit and where they are and what they're doing. But yeah, that's why my dogs are all crate trained, because if I'm not home, my dogs are in their crate. They are not a threat to you, so you can't touch them. Even though technically I and my dogs not be at fault because that's their property. That's just the sad. I've heard so many. Yeah, I have heard horror stories. And listen, I'm totally back the blue and everything, but I do believe this shit that's got to change, and that's one of them. Because what does the dog know? That's its house. The dog doesn't know shit. You're in there. It's in there, and it doesn't know why you're in there. Let's see. I think it's looking more cloud-like now. I didn't like how the clouds are coming out earlier. They looked a little less cloud-like to me. Is he trying not to drain it too much? This is just obviously before I add in any details. And I'm going to add more dark blue on top. I'm going to try to make it a little more of a rich tone as it comes down. Yeah, they do get terrified. That's why I always had a leash on. Yeah. Crazy for a safe space too, somewhere they can go to chill. And my dogs do that, Greta specifically, because like for a while I had to keep the couch off limits because I was treating it. Because again, when you own 5 billion animals, shit happens. Oh, I forgot to send a text to somebody. But let me do that really quick. Hey. Two. There we go. Now I feel better. Oh, I just found something cool. But I can't say nothing. Because I don't know who's listening. But, okay. I think that's it. And and my father called me. Everyone's calling me today. God almighty. Love the blue. Hi, Leon. Cute. There we go. I had to check on some things. I told my dad I was doing a live stream today. I don't know why he called me now. Hopefully everything's okay. But okay. I'm letting it dry because the clouds were not looking cloud-like to me. But maybe they'll start to look a little more cloud-like now. Because I hadn't set. Nothing beats those first clouds I made. Those were honestly the best clouds I ever made. And I'm hoping I can relearn the technique. Maybe I can start doing some Skillshare classes. Skillshare is pretty cool. I wouldn't mind if they sponsored me someday. Greta, I can't play, baby. That thud you heard was her bringing in a half-eaten Santa toy. Just dunked it on my foot. So what's everyone doing today? What is the plan, Stan? It's me after this. I'm babysitting my niece and nephew, and I am uploading tomorrow's video. I did all my hard work in advance, and tomorrow I'm supposedly getting interviewed. So I gotta make sure I look fancy for that. Kind of excited. I'm studying right now and working on a video. Oh, what are you working on? That's exciting. Greta, stop it. I'm drawing Jinx before going to bed at 3. It's 3 a.m. where you are? You're in Quebec, though. I didn't know you were back that far. No. Let's see. Yeah, I do like that I'm adding that dark on the top. I think it's going to add a nice depth to it. And then I have this really gorgeous watercolor. I want to make videos, but I only have camera. Hey, listen! As I've been told by many people, start somewhere. And then if your videos really take off or you start earning more money, buy more equipment. Microphones are cheap. You can get them for as little as $20. This one was expensive, but the only reason my microphone is expensive is because I wanted the colors. Oh, you don't have a PC. Check Facebook yard sale, okay? Oh, you're in Asia. I want to make videos. I got sick, probably going to just play some games. I don't blame you, Shigo. Awesome name, by the way. It's a research project, video essay type thing. I'm researching all the nuances of the commentary community in YouTube. Lots to unpack. Yes. Thank you, Selma. But yeah, if you want to do a video or you want to get a PC, I'm dead ass on that. Go to Facebook yard sale. People are constantly selling stuff, and you would be surprised. See if Mercari's in your area. That's also a really good one. You would be surprised what people sell for really, really cheap online. And it is super helpful, I find, to most people, because then you're not spending an arm and a leg, but you're still getting what you need. I'm already running out of water on this thing. Come on. That's what I did. My first laptop, which Gothics laughed at, was like a 2017 HP. And I got it for $75. She's like, oh, where'd you get your laptop from? And I was like, I got it out of desperation. I mean, Is she the best on the planet? No, but is she something that I could use during a time when I had nothing? Absolutely, positively. Facebook Marketplace is a great place to look. Graphics cards are hard to find right now, though for cheap. Yes, true. There's a lot of shit you can find on there. If you and my favorite thing is because again, I'm a typical housewife. I like finding appliances on there. Like stand-up freezers, they're fucking expensive if you go to the store. But you know where they're cheap? Where the rednecks run. They are cheap. And they are selling them for cheap because they're always getting their new one for the next deer season. So I always get to find a really nice one for cheap. I just haven't been able to actually buy it because I've been like, oh, $200. And then suddenly a vet bill happens. So, but yeah, I have so many lofty plans for my kitchen and all that jazz. I love how chipper this thing is against this like super dark background. There we go. If you have a microphone, you can use the regular headphones. Just make sure that's true. A lot of regular headphones for cell phones have a microphone, and it's zero wasting because you don't contribute to the new using the resource. That's also very true. It is on it is kind to the environment. See now, this is where you're gonna start to lose me, kids. I don't know that shit from a hole in the wall. I really don't. I would like to know. I know that if it's a computer part, she expensive. That's all I know. If it's gonna go on the computer, she gonna be pricey. Cause that's just, that's the way the game is. There we go. Just leaking everywhere. There we go. Skull Candy is great. They're actually some of my favorite headphones. I miss when they were more design wise original. So Skull Candy makes great product, but one of the things I loved about them was that when you looked at them, they were so unique and fresh looking, and they kind of got away from that, and I'm not happy about it. I miss Skull Candy when I bought it, and I felt like I also looked good. Um, but I love Skull Candy as a whole. I really do. So I do agree on that. Let's see if this works. Gonna layer on some more blue. This will be fine once it's flattened because it will not be going up today. It's definitely like Esteban said. It's a little wrinkly. It's a little wet. But yeah, I have found like really cool things on Facebook yard sale. I love it. I would buy way more if I could. Like, I actually had to stop looking because the problem is that sometimes you see some really sweet stuff and you're like, shit, I don't have any money. Like people are always selling their video game systems, and usually they're just legit. It's very wet. It's dry now. It just was wet before. iMovie is where I started. iMovie? I don't think I know what that is. Let's see. Here we go. There we are. I've literally got cat fur stuck in my brush. Son of a bitch. Let's see. Well, that's not looking too damn bad. That's worth the price of admission. iMovies. Oh, will that be why I don't know? Okay, these Vom Red things. Does anyone know what the hell that is? Is that just a bot? Am I old? Someone youthful help me. Esteban, help me. You know this shit. It's a free editing program that came with my laptop. Definitely not your Vegas or Adobe. See, my editing program that I use is DaVinci. I always, whenever I go to download, I never buy an editing program, or if I do, I start it off as a free one, and I just look up what's the best one. And whenever I'm told the best one, that's what I go with. It's a Russian bot. Okay. Thank you, Esteban. I wasn't sure. I mean, the name is definitely Russian. Yeah, buy it, right? Who buys things these days? Oh, like I looked up. DaVinci was the number one ranked for free, and apparently it is very widely used, even in the non-free version. So it's that good of a program. So like, well, if it's that good of a program, I might as well use it. And a lot, like my favorite thing about it is there's a lot of tutorials. So a lot of people use it enough where all I've got to do is type in exactly what I need to know, and boom. One of my animals is whining out in the door, and I don't know who. Don't like all these hard lines that keep showing up. So annoying. But I think it's looking like clouds. Yeah, DaVinci is good. That's free. It really is. It was ranked the top one, and I enjoy it. I really, really like it. I'm glad that I utilize it. I know that I'm still not using it to its full potential. I will say that, because I know there's things that you can do on it that I simply haven't done, and I'm like, I'm doing something wrong. But I'm hoping as I get along, you'll see it. I imagine you guys have already seen the difference in my videos from when I first edited to now. I feel like they're getting better. Yeah. DaVinci is really good. I will say if you're looking for something a little different, it's very good. Esma, no one said it. I said it. Because again, it's that beautiful thing called insecurity. I don't normally paint with people watching. This is my idea, granted. But it doesn't mean I'm smart that I did it. Let's see. Dab, 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 dab. I guess because in comparison to another one I did, the clouds aren't looking like super realistic clouds. There's one I did, the first watercolor I did, and I'll show you the comparison because it's right over here. Oh, I'm sorry, Daisy. Did I wake you up from your beauty sleep? Where is it? Where are you? This one. Like, I really love how I did the clouds in this one. And for some reason, I'm having a very hard time today. But I'm pretty sure it's just because I'm not using the right technique. So I'll figure that out. Just not today. That's the beauty of live, folks. You get the fuck ups. All right, let's see. Hi, Greta. What's the matter, you? Hmm? What's the matter, you? What? Oh, thank you. What another lovely gift. Drop. Now I've been presented with this sailor squirrel. I get the loveliest gifts from the puppies. What, you want it back? That's not how gift giving works, Orion. You can't have it back. It's mine. It's mommy's. Okay, thanks. God almighty dogs. I'm in the middle of shit here, huh? And see, now I've taken it from you. So there you go. Yeah. So who here believes in New Year's resolutions? Like something where you actually try to commit to it. Have you committed to them? Have they ever actually worked? Do you even believe in them? Or you just say it just for the fun of it? That's something I'm curious about. Because I'm a little weird about New Year's resolutions. What do you guys all think about them? Yes, sir, I see you. I don't believe in New Year's resolutions. Esteban does not. Anyone else? I'm going to start working towards now the details of this. The last thing I'm going to use is this watercolor, the white they have. And I'm going to... I've never really done New Year's resolutions before. You could resolve your life any time of the year. Yes, that's very true, Vivi. You know, stop speaking logic. I agree, though. Theoretically, you can fix yourself any time of the year, but should I? My husband got these, but I'm pretty sure these are water based. Well, they claim they're waterproof. Let's find out. I haven't used Faber-Castell in a long time. This was my Christmas gift from my husband. And I actually did, but I only stuck to it on June. Kind of successful. Hey, you know what? Something's better than nothing. That's all I know. Hi, Sapphic. Usually has to be... Is to be nicer to leftists? That's a difficult one. I don't know, Selma. You picked a hard one. Let's see. I've gotten so used to microns. Let's see. put these two aside. Well, that's pretty thin. Let's find out. That's not going to work, Selma. That's a challenge. I personally don't do New Year's resolutions because I'm just, I just always try to be the best me I can be. Just getting this poor thing all dolled up. I already caught fur on it. Not the bad, not the bad. She'll have white in her eyes afterwards. See, I'm contemplating if I should even worry about resolution. I guess my resolution is just to keep dedicated to what I'm doing right now and not let up. I will say that I am someone that can lose focus. I don't know if it's an ADHD thing or a Cassie thing, but I will easily get distracted. I see a shiny object, squirrel, all that shit. That is definitely something that I do. Anyone seen that video? What video, Selma? Not sure what you're talking about, honey. You're gonna have to help me out here. I have really bad ADHD, and I'm not to disparage anyone else's ADHD, but I'm an OG. I was diagnosed before everyone else was. Okay, I was diagnosed before it was cool. Before half of TikTok was self-diagnosing. Back in the early 90s, when we were considered detrimental, schools were allowed to tell us we couldn't attend because we had ADHD. That's what it was like. From what I just wrote, that the power of God and anime on my side. I believe it's easy to be nice to people if you try. I believe in randomly complimenting people. I believe if you see someone that looks good, don't worry about if they're a leftist or a Republican or anything. Just tell them how good they look. Because one of my biggest things is you don't know what that person's going through. You don't know what's going on in their life. And sometimes I have heard, because I watch a lot of suicide survival stories and even investigation ID. And what you hear from a lot of those people is all it took was one person being kind to them to make everything change. To change their outlook just on life. Just one random person. Let's see. TikTok is so crazy. Anyway, it's a funny video. Yeah, TikTok is toxic as fuck and is influencing everyone in the worst way possible. Yeah, there are good things, but I got diagnosed with ADHD by a doctor 2 years ago, but I think I've had it since I was a kid. There are many people who do go undiagnosed. My issue is that everyone's self-diagnosing. And they're making it a, whatchamacallit, an identity. And as a matter of fact, I was watching this video Abba and Preach put out the other day. And it was about trigger warnings. And I've had people ask me about trigger warnings. And I'm kind of weird about them, right? I don't like putting them. I don't like putting them on my videos. I've had some people ask me about it. I don't believe in them, and here's why. I believe that the title of a video should speak for itself. And hello, Soul. What are we talking about? TikTok. We aren't talking about TikTok, but you can talk about TikTok. People on TikTok self-diagnose definitely pisses me off. What was I talking about? I lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, they were watching a thing where there's a study showing that trigger warnings not only didn't help people with PTSD, but sometimes made it worse and created this false feeling of it being a core part of their identity rather than just something that happened to them. As if these people really couldn't let go of their trauma now because their trauma had become integral to who they were. Um, and that's something where I can definitely see that because we as a society have become, like Viv just said, we flaunt mental illnesses now. And we deny the validity of some mental illnesses, like, for instance, transgenderism, which should be considered a mental illness because, one, it adds more validity to what it is, and two, because if at any point in time your brain is telling you something that is different from reality, guess what? That is a mental issue. That's just the long and short of it. People don't want to hear that, though. That's phobic of some form. Just like me saying, "Oh, me being overweight is not that bad. It's not that big a deal." Um, that's me denying reality, kids. It's just, it's the same thing with people who sit there and self-diagnose. Sometimes you're making the shit up to yourself. Seriously. And sometimes if you read off symptoms, you're not really getting those symptoms, but you're starting to self-impose situations where you might have because your brain works that way. And again, it goes into so many different deep dives, but that's why I have a hard time putting trigger warnings on stuff because I truly feel like no one's responsible for your triggers but you. And I feel like no matter how traumatic the situation is, you have to be able to face it. I am someone who was molested. I am someone who has suffered through death and through traumatic experiences. And, there's times my husband and I were going through his phone about a year ago at my job, and I was looking for something in his phone. And I said to him, "What's that?" And it was a little sound bite. I didn't know what the hell it was. He's like, "I don't know, let me check it out." And it was my mother. It was a sound recording of my mom. And I had been completely fine 2 seconds earlier. I literally just started open mouth, ugly crying, practically screaming because I didn't expect it. But now I can listen to that no problem. I cry, but I don't break down and cry because avoiding it doesn't change the fact that my mom is dead, right? Pretending that I can't hear it doesn't stop my mom from being dead. She's still dead. Nothing I can do can change that. And I know many people, close personal friends of mine, who haven't gotten over the death of their parents and don't want to. Not because they don't want to, but because they are literally terrified of facing those emotions. It's too hard. So rather than face those emotions, they block it all out. And then when shit hits the fan, because shit will hit the fan, guys. Don't think you're not feeling it. You're feeling it. You're just hiding what you're feeling. And that is not the same thing as, I, I think some people mix up their feelings, which are natural, to a sense of being under a mental or emotional disorder. This is negatively reinforced by public figures in the media. Yes. Very, very accurate, Druid. Uh, yeah, I swear it's like nowadays someone feels nervous for a test and then diagnose themselves with anxiety. Yes, exactly. It's the only natural to be confused and find answers, but the scrutiny you get on the internet for making mistakes, it's hard. I know. And that's the thing, guys. Like, uh, I just watched a video by Michelle McDaniel. I get that sometimes too. There have been times I still get through it without calling my mom and remind myself that she's not hearing exactly. Oh yeah, there are days that the hardest part was the first year because I would wake up and often my mom and I, when I would get up in the morning, I would call her to tell her what store I was going to be in that day because the way I worked at my company, I was traveling around the area. And so my mom did have actual anxiety. And if she did not know where I was, she would freak the fuck out. So I would tell her, yeah, I'm going to be at the store today. Yeah, I'm going to be fine. Da, 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 da. And so on and so forth. So that was great. It took me a while because I'd reach for the phone in the morning when I wake up to remember that she wasn't there anymore. And that if I called, I'd be calling my dad and I'd be hurting him. So, this is stuff I had to, take into consideration and remember. But what was I saying? You guys keep throwing me off with all the shit I'm talking about. Keep forgetting. It's all your faults. That's so listen, I'm never going to sit there and say that it's easy to lose a parent because it's not. Especially if you're close to them. It is not easy. Anyone that tells you otherwise either didn't like their parents or they're lying. I watched a video. Oh, thank you, Viv. See, ADHD. I completely forgot what I was saying. I was watching Michelle McDaniel's video, and she asked, "Why are so many YouTubers depressed?" And it's a great question. Why are they? Why are so many people who are supposedly working the dream not happy? And it's a really great question. And I think it's just because, one, she touched on it beautifully. If you want to see a really cool video, go watch it. I mean, obviously, she adds her own Michelle flair to everything. But it's a really great question. I think because once you start doing this stuff, we forget that we humans are not used to being that well known by anybody. And we don't get just like one or two people. I'm not obviously some major YouTuber, but I've never had this many people notice my shit ever. I've never had this many people say, "Hey, how can I support you? How can I follow you? I can't wait for a video." I've never had hundreds of comments. There's two things to worry about losing a parent, and that is not being able to live without them and not being able to survive in a world without the support. Rest in peace, your mother. I hope you'll be able to accept and feel better. I accept it. It's hard, but I accept it. Thank you, guys. And Druid hit the nail on the head. If you're super close to your parents, one of the hardest parts about losing them is realizing that you now have to figure out a world where they're not in it. And I'm sorry, I am getting teary-eyed now. Because that is the hardest part. Because you have to sit there and realize you never had to worry about that before. That was not something that was reality to you. They were just always there. And now you have to find a world where they're not. And I do believe that is the hardest part. That is the most difficult part about losing them. The world, I said it to my best friend. I said, it's not that the world, I can't live and I can't go on. I said, but it's like you're looking at the world and everything's slightly tilted, and it's never quite right again. That's the best way to describe it for me. It's like, everything's fine, but there's just something off. And it's never going to quite be the same. And I felt that way when my mother passed away and when Brandon passed away. I take Stoic philosophy as a source of lessons. I try to worry about things that I can control and not the things that I don't control. I can't stop people dying, but I can control the time I have with them. Exactly. Hi, Eddie. And see? Fluffy llama. When this dries, it's going to look fucking spanking. But right now, I might even be able to. That looks nice. Aw, that's cute. Oh, thank you. Let me tell you something. To get off of the depressing shit, one of the coolest things about me becoming a YouTuber and working with Gothics and everything is the amount of artists I've found who are the same political standing as me. And I didn't think I would be as excited about that as I am. But seriously, we were told that we didn't exist. I love that shade of blue. Isn't it pretty? Let me tell you something. I can't lie. Where is it? Where's the fucking cover? There it is, all the way over here. They're fucking worth the money. I'm not gonna lie. They're worth it. But yeah, finding a lot of you artists that are the same political inclination as me, it's kind of a big deal. And that's something I'm going to touch on in the new year as well. That's something I'm going to ask about, like, why we artists are so shunned if we aren't liberal. And do we feel that no matter what, we can be? Let me see. I might add a few more. I've never had white watercolors before, but damn. Let's see. What do you guys think? I found a lot of art community I've seen is so toxic and very emotionally driven, which is understandable. Well, that's because the reality of the world is harsh and cruel, and these truths semi-glossed over pleasant things. I do believe that. I believe we do spend a little too much time glossing over the hard facts. I already finished, and we still have an hour, guys. I did not expect to finish this quickly. I don't know if you guys are wanting me to. I will take the time to rearrange the camera and go back on to me if you're cool with that. I look like shit. I'll have to at least brush my hair. I can't help if I'm dramatic. But when you're this fabulous, make a watermelon? I think if people have a purpose in life, they can orient their existence around to that purpose, meaning they can tolerate bad days when they're dedicated to something more than themselves. You capture such beautiful movement in the llama. Does not look stiff. I appreciate the curved lines you utilize. Thank you. I don't like stiff artwork. It's something I strive not to have. I like to show some kind of emotion and joy in what I draw. Matter of fact, I hate writing for that reason, because writing stifles me from drawing. I prefer to just draw, because when I handwrite stuff, my hands start curving like I'm drawing. If you guys want me to draw something else, tell me. I mean, maybe we can do a little live art prompt. Because I know I promised the llama last time, but now, I mean, we still got a whole solid fucking hour. So we can get another thing in. 2 to ring in 2022. Oh, while you guys decide, I'm going to go put the dogs outside real quick, because I mean, you might not be able to hear it, but they've been being really whiny. So I will leave this for you to stare at, and I will be back in a second. I'm going to go take care of the poops. You guys can look at that and decide if you want something else drawn. It's hard to find people. I think, Viv, we're more, I honestly think there's more of us than we like to admit. And I think we're just scared to admit it. But you guys decide if you want me to draw something else. I will return in 2 seconds. Well, not 2 seconds, but you know what I mean. I want to go outside. Come on. I'll let you go to the bathroom. I'll allow it. Come on. Yeah, I know. Come on. They're waiting for us. They're waiting. All right, guys, did we decide? Do we know what we want? You do makeup. I think I found. You probably did. If it's Lady Star Son, they're probably me. I doubt I have a fake account somewhere. I'm not that popular. So we want to have a cat with a scarf. Okay. Let me just dislodge the Llama. Don't rip. Don't rip. Aha! You tried. I'm going to put you right there because you're going to get flattened later. So we want a cat with a scarf. Okay. Let's find a cute kitty. The llama needs a friend. Well, the llama's not getting a friend in that picture. She done. That picture done. Let's see. Images. No. This is the bad side. Now I gotta pick my favorite one to use. I have two, Viv. Calicos are wonderful, but tortoise shells are crazy. That is the first I will say. Oh, the babies are so precious. I'm sorry. I can't handle it. Kittens are just about like, they kill me. They kill me. Listen, today I ain't looking so pretty. Today I'm looking damn straight up haggard. Let's see. Oh, that one's cute. Look at that little thing. That's the one I'm going to go for. That's the kitten. That one's so damn cute. I love its eyes. It's so cute. All right. I'm really excited for what this year brings, though, because in 2 weeks I'm going to Texas for a company retreat. That's exciting. I haven't been on a plane since 2018, so that's going to be an experience, especially because I'm a lot bigger than I was the last time I was on a plane. I swear to God, if they ask me for a vaccine, I'm just gonna like drop to the ground and pretend I have a seizure. I don't know. No vaccines for me, please. No, thank you. Not today. Yeah, I haven't been to Texas except for like one time. And I don't even know if it really counts. It's when I was in Vegas, or when I was going to Vegas, rather. We had a layover in, I believe, Houston for an hour. And during that hour, I went to the bathroom. That's what I did. And I feel bad because it's actually a friend I have in Texas. And I was like, guess what? I'm coming to Texas. She's like, guess what? I'm moving back to Rhode Island. I'm like, oh, what day? And she's like, January 10th. I said, well, fuck you, because I'm going to Texas on January 14th. So now I have to wait to see her when I get back to Rhode Island, whenever the hell that will be. Let's see. How stinking cute is this kitten's face, though? Seriously. Oh, do you mean the plane video where that woman was spitting on? Oh. Mm-mm-mm. Mm-mm-mm. That woman's nasty. That's just a nasty creature. Spitting on an 80-year-old man just because he was eating peanuts. She apparently, how it all started was, right starting to shadow below her chin. So apparently how it started was she was going to the bathroom and the beverage cart got in the way, right? And the beverage lady, the air flight attendant said, "Hey, could you sit in this spare seat until I get past?" And she says to the lady, "Who am I, Rosa Parks?" She literally said that just to having to sit in the seat and wait. And so the older gentleman says, "You are neither black nor are you oppressed, and this is not a bus, it's an airplane. Just sit down and shut up, Karen." Because she was making, like, she wasn't joking, she was making a big deal out of it. And then we all know what went on from there. Punching an old man, spitting on him, whining about the pandemic while spitting on somebody. Okay. Okay. And now I believe she's on a no-fly list. Hope it was worth it, lady. I hope every ounce of it was worth it for you. Let's see. It was so because she didn't have her mask on. The whole thing was ridiculous. There was no need for any of that. There was no need to lay your hands on an old man. And apparently, she had already been in trouble for causing issues before. So this was not her first rodeo. She was just a dramatic bitch. She was drama, drama, drama. And when someone called her out on said drama, she didn't like it. There we go. Yeah, she needs one. Good. Let me see. Hangry. She needs a Snickers. Stop it. Okay. There we go. I think the kitten's come along pretty well. I'm still here listening, having to work at a computer. Not a problem, Mitch. I won't demerit you this time. I was gonna take away some points, but you know what? You fine. We'll forgive you. It's the end of the year. Let's see. Here we go. Kind of like how this kitten's turning out. What you guys think so far? Thank you, your reverence. Well, now, smart assery will get you to merits. Let's see. Looking like a kitten. Thank you, Mitch. Well, that's what I was going to do. I was going to do a little, like, star hanging here. Do I have that on hand? Oh, it's buried. Fuck it. Never mind. One of the things I had the hardest time drawing is stars. Because, of course, it would be. There we go. Maybe a fishing toy. Well, I want to try to fit in with the llama because the llama had this, it's dancing to the starry skies. So I'm doing a little star thing hanging. I like doing it where it's like kind of haphazardly tied up like this. I think it's kind of fun. I'll leave that line out. There we go. There we go. That's cute. I like that. There we go. I think I'm going to lower this section of the chest just a little bit. So who's planning on adopting a new pet this year? Because let me tell you something. I'm not planning on it, but I'm betting on it. Does that make sense? If I'm a betting woman, and I usually am, when it comes to animals, I will bet I'll have a new animal by the end of the year. By the end of 2022, I'll be adding another animal to the Star Sun flock. I just know it. Here we go. Okay. My cats are enough, even though I want a dog. Hey! It's not about having enough. These bitches find me. They come and they look for me. That's the problem. They locate me. Let's see. I thought I got a message from somebody, but I lied. I was wrong. Oopsie daisy. Now, Viv, you need a pet break? Is that because you've had too many pets, or This one's going to be a little more simple, by the way, guys. I'm not going to do it as heavy as I did the other ones. It's going to be a little more delicate. My cats hate dogs because I was babysitting my friend's dog and they kept hissing at. Well, that's actually nothing to do with the cats hating a dog. It's just there's an animal in their territory. A lot of folks make that mistake. They believe that cats hate dogs. Cats don't like anyone entering their territory. Humans have to remember that. That's because they're naturally solitary hunters, right? So you have to remember when you're a solitary hunter, any other hunter that enters into your area is a potential threat. And so when a cat sees a new large animal, or even a small one, that is a potential threat. And that is why cats act the way that they do. They have to understand that you're no threat to them. Once they understand that, you'll notice cats tend to ease up. Now, you're going to have those cats that take a longer time. Cats take up to 9 months to a year to adjust to new scenarios. And I find that a lot of folks don't realize that. And again, this is why I'm going to do a pet video, because I hear that a lot from people. My cats hate dogs. Listen, all of my cats hissed at Greta when she first came in the house. Nearly all of them nuzzle her now. Even my old curmudgeon Zorro. Even him. Once in a while, when he thinks I'm not looking, he is very nice to the dogs. So it's not a matter of hate. It is a matter of you have to do it right. You can't just, no matter what people think, you cannot just bring a dog or another cat into your home. Your animal is not going to like it. It's very rare that you're going to find a cat that is A-okay with it. Axel is that cat to an extent. And even then, he's outwardly okay with it. But then guess what? He holds his piss for 3 months. Oh, it's just I'm moving everywhere and I don't feel confident enough in my ability to take care of animals, especially. No, then definitely, yeah, move first. Move first and then get your pet. That's for sure. That's responsible. Yes, I 100% agree. No more cat sneezes violently. It's definitely a learning curve with a cat. I have a cat and a dog, and they have frenemy dynamic going on. It's wholesome. Action allergic to anything with fur. Oh my god, that sucks. And yet you got all those deer milling through your yard. Whatchamacallit. No, but I get this a lot from people, and I tell them, like, so for instance, I get told by a lot of people that crating is cruel. Crating your dog is not kind, and that if you crate your dog for a long extended period of time, you're a cruel owner. And I go on a lot of rescue pages, I help with a lot of rescue, and I see a lot of people say this to potential owners. And I get very, very, very pissed when I see this, because you have to have a job. You have to be able to go out and provide for anything that is in your house. So what if you have a baby, you should never go to work again? Like, come on, people. And hold on. Filling water up. I had that from a lot of people saying that if you have to crate your dog, you shouldn't own one, 3 to 4 hours at the most, and you should be hiring a dog sitter in between. Dog watchers and sitters are expensive. Okay, let's start with that. Not only are they expensive, but that's a perfect stranger you're allowing into your home. Dog walkers have walked off with dogs and never returned. Family have walked off with dogs and never returned. Not me personally, because I promise you I'd be out hunting them. But It's a lot to tell people to do that. Excuse me, to take that risk. Because it's a risk. That is, you are entrusting your home to people. You are entrusting your house to people. And I get very upset. And I yelled at a woman the other day I virtually yelled at her. I told her pretty much, keep your opinions to yourself, which I don't normally do, but she was seriously sitting there saying, you should not own a dog at all. If you ever have to crate for a long period of time, and this is on a dog trainer's page. The dog trainer was telling people how to, crate train your puppy, and not to do 8 hours plus with a puppy. You have to work themselves up to it. And she was like, who could possibly require to crate their dog for more than whatchamacalls it, 8 hours? And I'm like, people who want to pay for said dog? Call me crazy. I need to learn from that video because I'm just having a dog. My brother looks to cats. I have been told creating your dog when you leave the house is actually a kindness. It gives, yes, very rarely. Some dogs like having the freedom, and you have to know your dog. You really do. Because Greta, I could give Greta that freedom easily. Orion, I could not. But again, you all know why I crate my dogs either way. Greta's a sweet girl, but if a cop came into my house for any reason, especially when I was at the apartments, especially because somebody could walk in for any reason. You have to know your dog. You have to know your dog's limits, and you have to prepare your dog. She was even soft all day anyway. I just kind of trained my dog when she was a puppy to behave in general. And that's the thing. So it depends. Again, like I was saying, you need to know your dog. Some dogs are great and can do that. And I love that you did that. That you took the time to train your dog and to make sure that it could go through that. That's fantastic. Kudos to you. And I mean that without any sarcasm. Seriously. The problem is, souls, not a lot of dog owners are like you. There's a girl I know, and I doubt she's listening, but if she is, I say this with love. She did not understand that dogs couldn't train themselves. She could not understand why her dog had not figured out on his own that peeing had to happen outside. She could not understand on her own that why the dog couldn't eat human food. She believed all these things she saw on, TV and in movies. Because in movies, they portray dogs this way. Dogs eating cereal and waffles and cookies with the kids. Dogs, innately learning things. Oh yeah. I asked her what was a typical breakfast for her dog. Captain Crunch and 2 Eggo waffles. And she couldn't figure out why he always had diarrhea. I literally, so I was floored. I was floored. And I was like, what made you think you could feed your dog this stuff? And she's like, well, it's what they do on TV. And I was like, oh God. Oh God. Like, I just couldn't. She just had never owned a dog. She'd never experienced pet ownership as a whole. She just hadn't. I had to teach her everything. She believed everything the dog did was vindictive. She didn't understand that she was creating these habits. I asked her, she said, my dog constantly begs from the table. He knows he's not supposed to. I'm like, well, does anyone feed him from the table? She's like, yeah, I do. Why do you feed him from the table? Because he looks so cute when he begs. And you thought he would learn eventually he's not supposed to? Well, yeah, if he sees that we're not doing it. I said, he's not a human. Oh God, I kind of always worry thinking about that in the world. There are people who treat their pets so poorly, even if it's just due to innocent lack of knowledge. While people need to realize they have different, that's the thing they don't, Esteban. Like, you got to realize something. There's a lot of people out there who literally just don't understand. And they don't understand because I'm not saying they're dumb, because they're not, but they take things at face value. And they take information at face value. And they sit there and they're the kind of people that will read an article and not even consider to double Google it to make sure the article's true. They're the people that believe Kyle Rittenhouse shot a black man because they live in a world where they believe, why would they lie to me? Why would that just be for storytelling? Why would that's the kind of thing that happens. There's a lot of people in this world who don't want to have to go through that extra effort, and they believe the fantasy of whatever it is they want. So it is much easier to believe that your dog will eventually learn to take itself out, will eventually learn to behave like you want it to without ever being trained. And it's much easier to believe that than to believe that perhaps what I'm doing is screwing up my dog. And I get that all the time. I get this from people about cats. I get it from people about lizards. I get it from people about birds. And when I tell you, you guys don't understand how much I get asked about animals by people. I get asked about everyone, do you know anything about this? Do you know anything about that? And I do, because I make a habit of learning, because I watch a lot of animal videos, and I will never own a snake. Why? I believe owning snakes are cruel. I still understand the basics of what it means to own a snake, because I know someone's going to come to me and ask me. And if they ask me, I want to make sure that I know. Guys, Google. Listen, soul, don't use logic. You can't use logic. That doesn't exist here. When I've asked them that, they never thought of it. Never crossed their minds. Never even occurred to them to Google it. The number one thing I always do when someone comes to me about pet problems, and what I love is I always get, that's too complicated. Oh, that's so much work. So why do you have the pet? Because that's the thing. Everyone wants the results that I have. Everyone wants a big-ass dog like Orion to listen to them and obey and do the tricks that he does. But they don't want to take the time to find the right treats, to do the proper training, to put in all the effort. I know someone from college that used to complain about trying to make his dog vegetarian. And I thought it was so cruel. He posted a pic on Facebook getting mad because he wouldn't eat a bowl of broccoli. Because they don't like it. But see, Vivian, this is where I truly have hot takes. I don't believe in owning bugs either. And here's why. I don't believe in owning animals that don't seek you out. I don't believe in owning animals that don't want to be owned. Bugs don't give a shit about us. They do not care. Fish don't have a choice. Birds, depending on the bird you get, don't have a choice. Dogs and cats are the main ones that I'm okay with, besides farm animals, because we bred them to be that way. Because often dogs and cats will choose to come to humans. But I make no bones about it that in a lot of times, if there's a cat who truly doesn't want to be owned, I tell people, leave it alone. Let it be. Just let it live its life. Because it's cruel to force a creature, any creature, into captivity just because we like them. That's how I feel about it. Oh God, yeah. When it comes to food, let me tell you something. A lot of my video that I'm going to do about animals is going to be about their nutrition and about how none of us, well, nearly, because I'm definitely going to say that I do a good job. None of us are really good at giving our pets the proper nutrition. A lot of folks will use name brand foods and get very mad at me when I tell them, I'm sorry, that's shit food. Because it is. And I get a lot of flack, guys, when I tell you this is something that people get mad at me for more than politics. More than politics. This just thinks it's cruel to keep pets that you need to keep in a cage. I'm a bit more open to the depending on the cage size. My thing is, if you're gonna keep snakes, then you give them a room. And I don't mean just a crate. You give them a room, like a 12 by 14, so they can stretch and enjoy life. Oh my God, dog foods contain the worst shit. And when I tell people, look at the first 5 ingredients, they're like, well, that's not bad. I'm like, we can barely digest corn. Corn is not designed to be digested by dogs. Like, what the hell are you talking about? Again, I'm a woman on a mission, to say the least. Let's see. I love when my premium messages, but I totally get what you're saying. Pets right now are seen as commodity or product, putting a price on life. My cat will only eat one type of food. We've tried everything, and she would rather starve than eat anything other than her one food. Here's what I tell everyone. That is because she knows you'll give in. And I mean that sincerely. Cats are not stupid. They don't want to starve. And if you eventually give in, if she knows that all she's going to do is hold out till she gets what she wants, she will do that. Cats aren't dumb. My dad and mom went to, not segueing, it's going to sound like I segue, but I promise it's not. My mom and dad went to the best pediatrician in New England, practically in the country, to take care of me and my brother because of our mental needs and our ADHD. Dr. Orson said, kids aren't dumb. We like to pretend they're dumb, but kids aren't dumb. If they know that it takes 99 no's to get a yes, they will hold off for the 99 no's. Pets are exactly the same way. A cat knows what you do. They watch your patterns and they will wait for it. And they know that you don't want them to starve. And so a cat knows that eventually, if they deny and they won't eat what you're giving them, eventually you're going to give in and you're going to give them what they want. And so that's why. Because most folks won't do what needs to be done. You want your cat to settle on a new food? You have to not feed them for days. Seriously. Over time, add new food. I'm going to go now. I just finished drawing Jinx. Please post so I can see and let me know. Tag me in that post. I want to see it. This is great stream and I have fun meeting all. Thank you, Miss Potato Head. You get a good night's sleep. That's what I tell people. You have to best them because, again, cats aren't stupid. They are hunters. They can't be stupid. And you have to beat them at their own game. So if your cat refuses to eat, that's fine. Then you don't give them food until they eat. I've done it with several of my cats. Honestly, she's probably sneaking food somewhere else. It is a mind game, Serenity. I know I sound cruel when I say this, and maybe I sound callous, but I promise you, it's all a mind game. And sometimes it's as simple as putting the food in the bag. Yep. But I will tell you, it is possible. But cats are assholes. They're intelligent, mean little assholes, and they want what they want. Heck, the only reason they're domesticated is because they knew that we came with more food. Seriously. They're the only animal in the world that allowed themselves to be domesticated. We didn't have to capture them. They made the choice. Because they knew we came with yum-yums. And again, when I make the video, I know more people are going to get mad at me for that than anything I've made so far. Because the rescue crew. Yeah, and I will say this, Serenity. Soul is right. If you mix it in, or just even take the food and put it in the old bag, that can sometimes be enough to trick your cat. Because it is all about familiarity. She just doesn't like that it's not familiar to her. Ooh, and I'm going to have to finish this cat quick. I have an appointment. Let's see. We tried more dry than wet and mixing up slowly. So you were switching her from dry to wet? Is that what it was? Because you can just pick a better dry food. Again, because in the shelter, she would definitely she definitely had to get used to whatever they were eating, and she probably did not eat what they fed her, what she got ate before. Yes, the vet wants her on wet food. I have a way you can do it. And one of my rescue friends did this, and this is again a little controversial, but it does the trick. You take the cat. Let me see. Do I have a cat I can use this on? I do have a cat I can use this on. Axel, come here, bud. Good boy. Come here. I know life's hard. So let's see. See how well I can do this. So you take the cat, right? No, sir. Please, you're usually the good boy. You take it, and along the roof of the mouth, just like this, grab them. Don't do it as impromptu as I'm doing. You grab them and you slide it across the roof of the mouth. Just like that. Because right here on a cat, so if you scruff and you grab right here, see how his mouth naturally opens? So the corners of a cat's mouth are a natural spot for their opening. It forces their mouth open. And then it's a little gruesome. You take the wet food and you literally slide it along the roof of their mouth. They're forced to eat. Part of what stops a cat from eating is their sense of smell and the fact that they don't like it. It's just new. So you have to get them used to the taste. And I've done this with many kittens that have come in that wouldn't eat. And I've done it with my adults when they were starving themselves and it got down to a bad point. You're not staying up here. I'm just letting you cuddle with me because you let me do that to you. I couldn't figure out why my cat wanted to drink old water from the bathtub and she liked the warm water more than the cold. Exactly. Yeah, my old cat only ate his dry food with wet food. My new cat loves it. That's what I would say to do. You can also syringe feed. Syringe feed is a lot easier. Honestly, then you just grab the scruff, you put it in the corner of the mouth. I'll demonstrate with this. You literally just take it, corner of the mouth, squirt it in. Thank you, Axel. See, Axel, you're a good boy. And that's honestly how you would do it. I know that was a little violent for some viewers, but when you're a rescuer, you realize that sometimes the comfort of the cat is not as necessary as the health of the cat. And cats are uncomfortable with anything they don't want to do. So I'll make that very, very clear. No matter what the cat don't want to do it, okay? So you kind of have to force the cat to do it. The cat and mouse act, but on cat. Exactly, so. All right, bud, you gotta get down now. Yeah, I'm sorry. I know life's hard. Go. But that's what I will tell you. It works. It's not comfortable. It clip the cat's claws first before you do it. It is something that could even be controversial, but I will tell you this. You want results? That's how you get results. I am very pushy with my cats. I try not to accommodate their comforts too much unless it's like it's really bad. I will tell you that. I try very hard to minimally accommodate them for things that really could be fixed. Just because you create bad habits if you don't force them out of their little comfort zones. And I know because I've learned in these things. Penny is a prime example of someone who now has developed very bad habits due to the fact that I did not want to make her uncomfortable. And now, as a result, she does a lot of things that I do not like, but I have no one to blame but myself. She's an anxiety-ridden cat, and I allowed it to happen. He doesn't want to go. No, he loves sitting on me, and I rarely let him do it because the problem is he's very bossy and he's very mean. He doesn't want to have to get down or have to listen or any of that non-fun stuff. No, Axel wants to do what Axel wants to do, and he wants to do that with me. And he gets very mad that it's a no. I couldn't find that watercolor palette. That being said, probably don't need more art supplies. That was Orion hitting my camera, by the way. It's the Viva colors. You gotta look them up. VIVIVA. They're not on Amazon or anything. You gotta buy them directly through the website. Let's see. Let me see. There we go. They only have the paint paper. They must have run out. Maybe they only release it a short time every year? Weird. Check next Inktober. They might have it then. But it is a really good set. I gotta say. Totes fan. So let's see. I think we're gonna do red for the scarf. Oh, it's a nice bright red too. Very vibrant. Aw, green eyes like your other cat named Graham. I will have to look again. I should really use the art supplies that I have. Dramatic side. Right? Stop using that logic, Eddie. We don't need logic around these parts. I mean, sure, we could be responsible adults and use what we already have. That's not exactly fun. New stuff is fun. And you know what? That's why I always buy new stuff. Although in my defense, I am running out of markers. So I am going to have to save up and get myself some fresh markers. Because your girl's running low. Everyone's like, you should start using your digital more. You are right. But I'm scared. So, I will eventually. Someday when I'm a big, brave girl. Da, 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 da. So today I was watching an interview of Andrew Garfield. Just segueing completely in the conversation. And there was, I think it was GQ, and they had him take this internet, he went on the internet undercover as himself. Because, no one's going to believe it's actually Andrew Garfield. The account was new and it said, yes, this is Andrew Garfield, something like that. And he answered questions and comments on different platforms. And I always wonder, you ever wonder if somebody that follows you is maybe perhaps like a famous person, undercover? They don't want to be known, so they hide their identity behind a fake account. You should go, oh, come on, Starson, that's stupid. Who would do that? But I mean, we do that just from our coworkers, just from our job. From our everyday life, we do that. So why wouldn't somebody who's literally got like millions of followers and is a A-list actor, I would. If I was a famous person, I would have an entire online persona. Completely different from whatever I do in my career. I would make sure all the names were opposite, all of it, so that I could enjoy what I enjoy without worrying about, you know. Let's see. Childish Gambino, did he? My cat was very scared people and skittish when we got him, but after slowly gaining his trust, he even purchased something. Oh, I'm meeting, but I love today's stream. Thank you again, Star Sun. Thank you, Serenity. You have a happy new year, honey. And I saw somebody asked earlier, do I do digital? Yes, I do digital. Not well, but I do it. The problem is that I've got to figure out the mechanics. And one of Gothix's followers, who's also a follower of mine, incredibly sweet man, donated me a beautiful tablet that I have not used because I'm terrified of breaking it. It's sitting here in bubble wrap right next to my desk. Yep. Because I am terrified that somehow my dumbass is going to utilize it wrong, or I don't know. I can't explain it. Only thing I can say is high anxiety, which, yes, I do actually have. Not self-diagnosed. That was my doctor. She asked me, do you suffer from anxiety? You have ADHD? Yes. Do you suffer from anxiety? And I was like, I don't know. Do I? I haven't gotten a panic attack in quite a long time. I don't want to change that. Let's see. What tablet? It's a whatchamacallit. It's an XP pen. It's a 24-inch. It's beautiful. I just won't touch it. I will eventually. Digital art is how I started taking art seriously. Is one of my biggest passions. It's definitely, see, I have a very love-hate relationship with digital art, and this is where, please, I don't mean any disrespect to anybody, but part of why I don't like digital art is I feel it's kind of cheating. I'm ducking, but it's true. I always felt it's kind of like a form of cheating, because things that you cannot fix in traditional artwork, like once you screw it up, you got to figure out a way to make it work again. In digital artwork, you can just literally backspace. You just backpedal and you're all set. And I was like, it bothered me, especially because I grew up, again, art-wise, during the end of, like, the beginning of, DeviantArt and stuff. And it really bugged me that everyone was treating, like, they weren't just not doing traditional artwork, they were making fun of it. They were making it sound like it was not only bad, it was old hat, it wasn't good. No, I agree. So there's a lot of things in digital artwork that you could never do in traditional artwork, and that's, again, partly why I find it almost cheating, because there's just things you could never do, you could never achieve in traditional. And maybe that sounds bitter. I don't know. I don't know. I just know that I have a hard time loving it. I love other people's digital artwork, but for myself, I'm a little weird. I gotta finish this quickly because I got to get going. Oh, it is already 3:00. Look what you people have done. Look what you people did. You made me fall behind. All right, I'm gonna finish this quick. You're gonna see the finished result put up in another day or two before the end of the year, and it'll be on the thumbnail, guys. But I have to get going because I genuinely do have a meeting I have to get to. Preferences are allowed. Ah ha ha! I see what you did there. You get a gold star, soul. That was good. I like that. You're cute. I'll keep you. Very nice. Very nice. Tying in my own lessons. I'm so proud. Yep, that's my cue. I don't hear that pop, but that is my cue. All right, guys, I'm going to get going. Here's what I will tell you all. Here's the kitten nearly done. The last few details will be going on it in a minute. But thank you guys for joining me. I'm sorry that it had to be delayed, but we got not one but 2 drawings done today. And I'm just excited, guys. I'm excited for 2022. I'm excited for what we all do together. And I just, again, I really want to thank you all. I would not be doing this without any of you. Thank you so much. Please, please, please stay safe this weekend. If you're going to be drinking, please, for the love of God, was it an expert of mine said, texture traditional artwork makes it less valuable? As Soul said, bruh. High Duck, beat that friend. Anyway, don't do violence, people. Here's what I will tell you all. Please be safe this weekend. Do not drink and drive. Please make sure if you're in a major city, don't go out. People are fucking nuts. Have fun. Be safe. I love you guys. And I will see you. I love this fucking joke. I will see you next year. Bye, everybody. I love you.